Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Max, and I'm from General Games, and this is another video on the Games Workshop Dominus Box, which is being released with 9th edition, which is really, really exciting. For those not aware at home, Dominus is actually Latin for master. Now, this box is definitely the master of its kind, and I think it emphasizes the fact that Necrons are the masters of the universe, and that's what we're going to be delving into today, these absolute beautiful masters. There's a couple of Primaris involved as well, but let's jump on through. So, first up we have an Overlord. He's a pretty stock standard unit in Necrons, has been for a while, normally with a War Scythe. So I'm seeing these kind of big, long-bladed weapons taking over preference in the Necron armory, so really, really excited about that. He's a buffing guy. Looks like he's got a pistol on his hand as well, so he'll be able to shoot in melee combat. Probably one attack, 4s and 3s or something like that. Maybe some AP, minus AP, which would be really pretty cool. He's a good buffing unit. Always take 1 or 2 in the army, depending on kind of the bubbles and what you're looking for. But really, really gorgeous model. Really, really excited. The paint job on these and the paint scheme have been really, really cool as well. Going to jump straight ahead. This is a brand new model, a brand new unit as well called the Royal Warden. So he's a bodyguard of some description, maybe thrown with an Overlord as further protection, or maybe just stick him in a group of warriors or immortals, something like that. Looks like he's got a Tesla carbine, maybe one of the new Gauze Reapers is a loadout you can have for him as well. That's the new shotgun that Necrons have got. I'll go through that in a little bit. But probably just a buffing unit, maybe gives some leadership, maybe gives a +1 to shoot or something. Maybe he can act like a Markerlight. Or the old Triac Stalkers, points at a dude and says, I'm going to shoot at him. Everyone else shoot at him real good too, and you'll get some rerolls. So a bit of a buffing unit there. I think Plasmancer is one of the really exciting things. Similar to the other guys, he's actually going to be a huge buffing unit as well. And I think that's what Necrons really are pushing towards now. They're giving you these leaders, giving you these alternate options that you can kind of really buff some guys, which is pretty exciting. But the Plasmancer has a little bit more excitement than just buffing. I think he's the first psychic character that Necrons are going to get. Look, don't hold me to it, but we got a Psychic Awakening coming in. Necrons haven't been using magic previously because everything they've done is technology. They've just had their Cryptex researching and figuring out this type of stuff. So a Plasmancer might be our first kind of foray into magic, which is really cool. Probably going to give us a smite at long range, maybe do some buffs for the guys as well. Really, really excited about what this guy can do. I know he's got a giant kind of melee cleave there, but what's really going to make this guy fearsome in combat is these crypto Thralls. So they've said that these are kind of like bodyguards for the Plasmancer, which I'm really excited about. Maybe similar to Triac Praetorians, these guys can actually take the hits instead of the Plasmancer. You can either take them as a group or maybe just kind of separate the crypto Thralls if you really want. But I'd be taking them with that Plasmancer, giving them a ton of extra wounds, and possibly an invul save on those shields. They look like they've got pretty heavy armor on. And something to note is their claws as well. You don't want to get into melee with this group of guys, I don't think. If that Plasmancer's giant cleave and the double scythe come at you, I think you're going to be in a bit of strife. So taking them at long range is the smart thing, but even so, that's why the Crypto Thralls, I imagine, can actually take some damage or even give some invul saves or something like that. Really to be a force to be reckoned with. So we're not just getting kind of a psychic phase and a psychic ability, but really getting the ability to protect that psychic phase, which is really, really, really cool. Moving on to probably my favorite model so far. I think I'm going to end up with 2 or maybe 4 of these guys. I know that he is a Scopic Lord, which means you're only really going to have 1, like maybe 2 in your list at any one time, like probably 1 at most, unless you're going for maybe a cheese or you just really love Scopic Destroyers and you're going to run like 20 of them and 3 of these guys. I don't know. They're really cool. I'm going to run a bunch of them, all right? So this guy in particular has a cleave. He's a literal cleaver, pyramid head style, just dragging along until it's time to lop off someone's head, which is awesome. He's got some old flayed one claws as well. I'm seeing these claws really make a comeback in Necrons, which are just like they're so brutal. These raking claws have had like minus AP in the past, pluses to hit, like ludicrously high strength. So just really, really excited for that type of stuff. We've also got a different type of Gauze Reaper, a big shotgun in the back. I imagine that's kind of, rapid fire, 12 inches or 24 inches, really close range type of unit, type of gun, plus a bunch of strength, couple minus 2 AP or something like that, maybe 3 or 4 shots with D3 damage or something like that. So I think if you ever get into close range of this Destroyer Lord, plus the buffs it's going to give to the Scopic Destroyers, which we'll go over in a moment, but you get into close range with him and he's just going to blow up a bunch of stuff and then charge and hack up the rest of you. especially with these guys on his side. These are the Scopic Destroyers. You can see big old weapons. We've been through this kind of last video as well, for those wondering. They've got like +2 strength, -2 AP for the guy in the back left. 3 shots, D3 damage a pop as well. So pretty heavy hitters. Definitely going to be able to move hopefully quick and get in. And imagine that the other weapons we can see are going to give variants of, +1, -1 rend, +1, -1 attacks, things like that, as well as the strength. So I think giving these guys a bit of a movement with the Scopic Lord, probably giving them buff to movement and stuff like that, and really just getting them into melee combat. If they're in on that, on a Rhino, on a Hydra or something, just any kind of vehicle, even a Baneblade, I reckon they're just going to come in and just start hacking it to pieces. So really excited about these ones. A lot of firepower, a lot of firepower. This is an interesting kind of little mighty dude that flights around. He's called a plasma sight. And his description given to us was he actually treads in the wake of the Scopics, the Scopic Destroyers, and just kind of follows behind them, giving some buffs where necessary, kind of cleaning up their mess, I guess. Definitely not much of an attacking unit, not that I can see, but I definitely think he's going to be a buffer. I think if he follows around the Scopics long enough, maybe you can add them to the units, into the squad, or trace behind him, and if you're within 6 to 12 inches, whatever, might give marker lights, might give some rerolls to hit, might give some lower into bravery or something like that. Honestly, not quite sure what this guy's about, but we're told he follows Scopics. So I'm for anything that makes Scopics more brutal and powerful. Speaking of, looking at this guy, so this is the big reanimator that we have now. He's called the Canoptech Reanimator. Crazy, I know. And they kind of leaked his ability a little bit, where he can point at models within 9 inches and give, or dead models or dead units, and give them +1 to reanimation protocols, which is pretty huge. So currently reanimation protocols are 5-ups. We can bring that to 4-ups. And normally Cryptex are involved as well, potentially giving +3. Might put it around 3-ups. And then some CP to re-roll it. So I think one of these guys on the field is going to be a primary target for anyone taking it out, making sure those reanimation protocols really don't go off. Or alternatively, you go for the old school strategy, which is just blow up the entire unit of models. No models on the table, can't reanimate. Don't worry about it. So really excited about this guy. He's going to be a slow mover, and just giving kind of those weird little buffs. He's got some pretty big guns on his head as well, so we might be able to turn him into kind of the new Doomsday arc, where he's just barraging from the other side of the world, and then can get up to close to give those benefits if things aren't turning well. Then you get your standard Canoptech Scarab Swarms. New models on these, which are really cute. They've got like little clawy dudes, much more like spiders than scarabs, but cute little guys. They're stereotypical. You swarm the board with them, they get in the way of tanks. Now that we can't swarm tanks as well, because tanks are going to be able to shoot out of combat, I don't know how well they'll go. But they'll still be this CP to D3 mortal wounds and blow them up, stuff like that. So look, stock standard in a lot of armies to clog up the battlefield, but we'll really see how they can actually progress with the new tank rules. Then, of course, you got your warriors. You got 2 different types of warriors. You got your standard warriors. They got Gauze Flayers. Was it 36 inches, rapid fire, -1 AP, 3s and 4s, or 4s and 4s, kind of like that, But then what's really cool is these Gauze Reapers. So they're shotguns now. They I think they leaked that as well. They didn't quite leak it, but you're looking at shorter range, something like 24 inches, maybe a bit less, with double the attacks is what I'm expecting. They'll still be -1 AP, maybe -2 if you're lucky, but rapid fire, maybe 2 attacks instead of the 1. If they're within 12 inches, you get +1 to attack or something like that. So it becomes like 3s and 4s or 3s and 3s. Which definitely become closer to a mortal level of powerhouses, with hopefully a slightly cheaper price tag. So really excited about these Gauze Reapers. Always a big shotgun fan. So let's now start to move on to the Primaris section. So this is the Primaris captain. There is a skeleton attached to his shield. That is a Primaris Marine that was not yet ready for death. The Primaris captain turned around and said, "You're doing pretty well. You've defended me quite well. I respect that. I'm going to take your soul and put it in my shield. And you're going to keep protecting me because you're doing it well so far." That is a wonderful way to live. No soul gone to waste on these captains. But unfortunately, they kind of depicted him crushing or destroying a Necron, which I personally take offense to. I can't see that happening. Even a captain against what would be a warrior. Not a big fan, G-Dub. Really let me down. It's just not going to happen. Warriors are forever. You know what I mean? Next up is the Lieutenant. Again, you got these Storm Shields coming through. Storm Shields are normally like 4+ invols. I imagine that Captain's going to have maybe a 3+ invol or something even like 4+ rerollable with that Spirit on his shield, which would be pretty cool. Lieutenant, again, chuck him into models. It's just a new model for a Lieutenant. We've had Primaris Lieutenants previously. So really excited about these type of stuff as well. Same as the Chaplain. Gorgeous, gorgeous models. They've got their seals. They've got skulls everywhere. Just like G-Dub's really outdone themselves on these sculpts. I think this is just such beautiful, beautiful work. The crests, the heads. I didn't mention before, but the Necrons actually have new heads as well. They've all different types of heads. And G-Dub have really, really shown the kind of, you look at some of these guys and the detailing on that is absolutely incredible. However, this guy, this is a brand new model. Brand new unit. We have no idea what it's about. It's a Judica or Judicia. Now, what's interesting is he's actually carrying around a vial of time. Now, people believe that he's got some kind of ability to do with time associated with that hourglass. Things from maybe healing people a bit better, maybe returning a charge, re-rolling things, re-rolling charges, re-rolling shooting. You can turn around for a CP or two, you actually redo the phase for one of your models. So if your units kind of do a bit of a shooting phase, they fail some shoots, some of the good shots get through, but then they save it and things like that. Maybe he can come around and just turn around and be like, didn't like it, 2 CP, we're actually going to redo that shooting phase. We're going to skip back 5 seconds in time, and we're actually going to have a different shooting phase. So really, really excited for this guy. Really, really cool. Absolutely gorgeous model. Again, very, very powerful. Expecting some very powerful things from him. We got the Blade Guard Veterans. Again, Storm Shields coming out in force. Best way to kind of deal with Necrons with all the AP and stuff like that. You don't really care. You just give them 4-up invols. So really, really excited about these guys. We're definitely seeing a very melee-focused Primaris kind of battle force coming out right now. You'll see kind of a bit more in a while. But Blade Guard Veterans, always really cool. Gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. Gorgeous, gorgeous models. Really, really keen to see some of these on the battlefield. We've got the Blade Guard Ancient here. He's got the skeleton hand in his hand as well, so as well as the Primaris banner with another soul attached to that. So I'm assuming kind of maybe a bubble buff of some description, plus to shooting, minus to fear or minus to bravery, maybe plus to saves. Like having him around and having +1 to save will be crazy, or maybe a 6-up shrug. Probably something along those lines. So we're definitely seeing the expectation that Primaris, once they're on the board, they're not getting off the board. Once the Primaris comes at you, these are triple-hearted, 4-lunged, 18-souled men that will take on armies. And I think they're really reinforcing the fact that their bravery is going to be crazy high, their saves are going to be crazy high, that you just can't take these guys off the field. But they can take you off the field very readily and accessibly with these Eradicators. These are the new flamethrower weapons coming from the Primaris as well. So I think if you can hold those shrugs, you hold the 5-up saves, the 4-up saves, even go down to 3-up saves, you have invols, you get 6-up shrugs, and then you just spray and pray some of these in close quarters. Is definitely a pretty huge strategy here. So really excited about these Eradicators. Again, absolutely gorgeous models. Really, really cool detailing. Absolutely loving it. These guys, again, we've seen kind of the redos of the old Space Marines through here. I'll kind of show you with this one and the next guys as well. But the older Intercessor squads with chainswords. So really, really excited about that. Look, again, you'll be able to take some bolt pistols, maybe some plasma pistols, or bolt rifles, maybe if we're getting lucky enough in here, and really just kind of pumping it out. But again, melee focused, get the chainswords in, get your pistols in, really just start shooting away. Similar to here, we're seeing some old Space Marine models getting redone here. So we're now back into Primaris Space Marines with these guys. The Outriders finally in. White Scars finally have some models to actually add to their army, which is really, really exciting and really cool. I think this is a huge homage back to the old Outriders as well. These were very similar to kind of what they were previously, except a very important change. Now, I want you all to pay attention. The gun on this is actually mobile. You can shoot forward and you can kind of change it around a little bit. Previously, they were attached to the handlebars. So if ever you turned, that's where you were shooting. If you want to shoot over there, you need to turn your whole bike and go in a straight line. We're horses. That's how it works. You point here, you shoot there, you go there. You don't get a choice. Whereas now, we don't actually have the guns attached to the handlebars. So you can kind of be a bit more free on how and where you shoot. which is really, really exciting. So again, absolutely gorgeous box. Comes with this limited edition Dominus book as well, which is just beautiful. So it's the core book for 9th ed, I believe it is, which I'm really, really excited about. I've got a couple splits lined up already. Don't you worry about that. And I think I'm going to try and grab this book from someone as well. So absolutely gorgeous stuff from Games Workshop. Yet again, you can't help to love them. They do some amazing stuff. So I'm expecting this to be in July, about mid-July, something along those lines. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, General Games Melbourne, General Games Frankston. Keep an eye on our website, generalgames.com.au. Let's see if I can get some of this stuff up. What do we got? Facebook. Jump up to facebook.generalgames, Instagram as well, and then, of course, our YouTube where this will be uploaded. If you follow us on those social medias, you will find out when you can pre-order this. Most importantly, Dominus, I'm expecting again 2 weeks or so. End of this month, I'll expect it up for pre-order. But if you follow those sites, you can guarantee it. I cannot stress this enough. This is a limited print run. We are getting probably, I don't know how many we're getting, but there's only a once print in. And then that's it. There's no extra runs of this. There's no redos. There's no, oh, I missed out. Can I come in next? No. You pre-order, you get it in now, because I cannot guarantee having this for actual release day. I expect to sell all of these out, because here's another really huge thing from Games Workshop. They have come out and said that this box is going to be 50% RRP of the whole content. So if you want your Necrons, you can buy this, and you're technically paying full retail, and you just get free Primaris and a free book. Like, it's mental. So keep that in mind. This is going to be crazy, crazy savings. Get involved. Like I said, pre-orders will be up really, really soon, but keep your eyes out. As always, thanks for watching. You have yourself a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time on General Games.